Welcome to this month's Member to Member Connection. I'm ASHRAE President Mick Schwedler. And this month, we're going to talk about our awesome member benefits. To help us today, we have three great panelists. Jonathan Smith is the chair of the Membership Promotion Committee. Jen Lussier is the vice chair of the Membership Promotion Committee. And Doug Zentz is director and regional chair in Region 5, and he's kind of on fire for membership. So thanks to the three of you for joining us today. We appreciate you being here. When I think of membership benefits, I think of the tangible ones first. And that is when you sign up as a member, right now you get the choice of a handbook, a standard of your choice, or an e-learning course. And that was done in response a couple of years ago to people saying, I already have the handbooks, can I get somebody else? So those were put together. In addition, we get the ASHRAE Journal each month and get to read what's going on, what's new. And finally, through our technology portal, we get access to free ASHRAE Journal articles that go back as far as we have them electronically, and also our research reports. So there's no fee for you as a member to download those. You also get discounts on education, publications, conferences, training, things like that. And when you become a full member, after you've been an associate, you're eligible for some of the more advanced awards. But today we're going to talk about the awesome member benefits. And we've asked each of the panelists to go from their third to second to their top ranked member benefit from their perspective. Doug Zentz, we're going to start with you. What's your third ranked member benefit?
Thank you, Mick. My third ranked benefit, and there's so many to choose from, has got to be knowledge. ASHRAE has a extremely large plethora of very knowledgeable people, very passionate people. And what I have found through the years is that everyone wants to share their knowledge. So as a member of ASHRAE, it's easy to continually learn because people are sharing their knowledge with you. I've even had prior presidents of ASHRAE that I have just talked to and said, hey, that's a great presentation you just gave. And they went, hey, you want a copy of the PowerPoints? I'll send them to you. It's just amazing how much knowledge is shared on such an easy and friendly basis. It's amazing.
Cool. Next up, Jen, you're number three.
Yeah, my number three is fun. Actually, ASHRAE meetings, chapter-wise or at society level, are always fun. So I've made a lot of friends over the past 20 years in ASHRAE. Some of them are very good friends, and I've made friends at society. John is one of them right now. So, and how cool it is to meet people from Asia and Middle East in one evening. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of friends and a lot of fun, especially at the host hotel bar after a long day of meeting. Cocktails are always welcomed, and conversations we've had at during these cocktail hours, we've changed the world during those conversations. So what I take out of these meetings is a lot of fun.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jen. And Jonathan?
Yes, I would say one of mine would be how to run an efficient meeting. Before I joined as an ASHRAE member, I was really bad at this. I couldn't keep order in the room. I couldn't keep people calm. And then in order to run a good, efficient meeting, you have to, especially when everybody's a volunteer in the room, you have to keep them in line and get the business done in the hour and a half, 2 hours that you have to get things done. So that's one of the skills that I had learned, brought it back to my team locally. And my boss was surprised. He goes, where did you learn how to keep order like this? Where did you learn to do this? I said, well, it was at the ASHRAE meetings. And from that point on, I've had full support from my employer for the organization, everything I do. But a lot of people don't think about that. But that's one thing that's near and dear to me because I really was one of my weaknesses. And now I feel like it's one of my strengths. So.
And those are things we bring back to our employers, which provides benefits to make the business more profitable. That's Absolutely. Awesome. Thanks. We're going to go on to number two. Jen, you get to go first on this one.
Okay. So my second benefit is professional growth. So by going to ASHRAE, my chapter meetings, I've made a pretty good network of peers. So I meet people in my industry. I meet fellow colleagues. I meet people in sales, people in consulting engineering. So that allowed me to get to know pretty much everybody in my in Montreal, where I'm from, in my professional circle. And I've also had the opportunity to present conferences at my chapter. And so that was really amazing to be able to share our successes with my fellow peers, and to attend conferences from other colleagues and other friends, or other people I know at my chapter level, really helped me learn a lot of what's being done in our business. So it really was, I really cannot say how much I learned a lot with my professional wise at my chapter meetings.
Sure. And again, that comes back to the employer, because that allows you to do your day job.
Yeah, of course, because every time I go to a meeting, well, I have my company behind me. So that's really amazing.
Fantastic. Jonathan, you get to go second here.
Yes, I would say mine was professional growth as well. When I made the switch from a design engineer over to sales about, I think it was 10, 12 years ago now, I really didn't know a whole lot of people within the network. I'd only been to one ASHRAE meeting in the 8 years prior to that. And looking back, I really regret that, because I was able to meet everybody at that first meeting. And from then on, the networking was a piece of cake to find people, not only in the engineering world, but in the architects showing up, the general contractors. Everybody at the meeting was a really big help. It also helped me, I would say, when I had an issue from going to the annual meetings, you know, the winter and the summer meetings. I met people where I had an issue with the system that I never had to address before. But I remembered somebody from one of the conferences that was like the person for this. So I reached out and called them, and then I had the problem fixed within an hour or two. It was amazing that you could do it that fast, and being able to now network not only within where I live in Kansas City, but worldwide. Knowing some of these people that I meet and see only maybe twice a year are willing to help me out immediately, because that's the beauty of this, of the society, is people. I think Doug mentioned this before. People love to help out. People love to share their ideas and make sure that you have what you need to be successful. And I brought that back to my job once again, and it was a huge value to my employer to get that problem solved quickly.
Fantastic. Doug, you're number two.
Yeah, I said personal growth, but I think it's really personal and professional combined, because of where I am in life and my current job, if you will, what I do for a paycheck in teaching. I was involved with ASHRAE as basically a member for a while. And then as soon as I started volunteering and getting involved at the local chapter, and from there it grew shortly thereafter to the region. And then it just kind of, it just exploded for me. And if you'd have asked me, say 16, 17 years ago that, hey, you're going to be sitting on the board of directors of ASHRAE, and hey, you're going to be one of the key instructors for ASHRAE's fundamental courses that's internationally known, and hey, you're going to be a seasoned distinguished lecturer with almost 100 DL presentations under your belt, I would have said you're dreaming. But that's where I am today. And it's cool, because as Jen was saying, it's all fun to me. I love it. It's a ball. So the growth just comes. It just happens by just simply saying these words. Yes, I'll do that.
Thanks for sharing it. You know, it's taking that active, the volunteering part, the networking, and it helps us improve professionally. And as Jonathan said, it brings it back to the employer. And being within 2 phone calls of the worldwide expert is an amazing amount of power. Okay, number one, Jonathan, you're number one.
Absolutely. I would say for me, it's personal growth. And by that, I mean, it's hard for people to believe this that know me, but before I joined ASHRAE and went to my first meeting, I could not talk to people. I was scared of public speaking. I couldn't network. I really, really struggle with all that. And by joining ASHRAE and becoming involved with that, it really helped me branch out with that, especially knowing that I was going into the sales side. I had to learn how to do this. And if, like I said, anybody who knows me or goes to the meetings, now I don't know when to shut up. Okay, so it really picked up on it really quickly, and I really enjoyed it. But probably one of the biggest things, I made a lot of good, close personal friends through the society. So much that when we meet twice a year, we bring gifts to one another. A lot of people ask for Kansas City barbecue sauce because everybody loves it. So it's like, okay, I'll bring 6 or 7 bottles with me and pass them around to my friends. And, you know, we have a good time twice a year. Some of them, I've seen them throughout the year just on vacations. They just happen to be at the place I'm going, and they just open their arms and say, come on and hang out and let's have some fun. So a lot of that, that's where the personal growth comes from. But honestly, it was more taught me how to socialize better, how to network better, how to be a better person in front of others, and really be able to talk to any type of person in the industry, not just engineers, but architects, general contractors, owners, whoever might be there. And we all know that we have all different kinds of people that come to the meetings. So that's why it's number one near and dear to my heart, is because I wouldn't be in the position I am right now or have the job that I do without these skills that I've learned and the personal growth that I have.
Wow, thanks for sharing, Jonathan. That really is a testament. Doug, you're number one.
Well, my number one, I guess you might call it a little selfish, but it is self-pride. And that's just because of the mentoring that I constantly try to do with my students as young engineers in ASHRAE, and then kind of following them in their ASHRAE journey. In my own region, there are several past presidents of chapters that I had as students. And a couple of them I can think of were student branch presidents. So to see them blossom, our past chair, Matt, for our virtual CRC, was a student and on a winning team for ASHRAE Student Design Competition, which leads me into the next thing is I've mentored a whole bunch of student groups there, and I've had the honor and privilege of being associated with 9 different student groups that have either won first, second, or third place with ASHRAE Student Design. And to see them grow professionally is just amazing. I mean, I can tell you story after story about the success of all these young, great women and men that have entered our industry and are still ASHRAE members.
Hey, thanks. Jen, you get the last word. Your top.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my first one, of course, is personal growth. So 20 years ago, I graduated from school and was looking for a job, and I went to the ASHRAE Career Fair organized by my chapter. And there I met my future employer, and for which I worked for 18 years. So before starting my own company later on. But then after I got that job, I said, well, I'll try to go to a meeting, an ASHRAE meeting, and see how it goes. And from then, I got involved, and then it really helped me break out of my shell, because 20 years ago, I was really shy. I was kind of an introvert, you know, the typical nerd profile. And ASHRAE really helped me by, well, you have to talk to people when you're in charge of a committee. So I was in charge of student activities. So you have no choice but to speak to people, speak to students. And then I had to host the career fair where I got my job. So it really was like an opportunity for me to try stuff that I never did before. So then I became president of my chapter, and then I had to hold meetings with, we're kind of a lot of volunteers in Montreal. We're about 40 volunteers. So it was really a big room to hold a meeting. And so it helped me learn skills that I later on applied in my job. So the ASHRAE was really a good learning school for me to get all these skills, all these personal skills, all these how to interact in public. And now, because of ASHRAE, I get to do conferences, I get to speak in front of an audience. So it's really easier for me. I'm not saying I like it, and I'm not saying I don't have the jitters before I go on the scene, but it really helped me to at least get the knowledge and get the experience of doing conferences and speaking in public. So that's my top number one, because without ASHRAE, I think I would still be a bit shy and a bit have a bit of difficulty of doing stuff in public.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, getting the butterflies to fly information is what we really want to do. And I think we've heard some themes here. Professional growth, personal growth, networking. All of those are great. And they really ended up with this year's society theme. Personal growth, global impact, and feed the roots. When we grow personally, we become better employees. We become better engineers, architects, contractors, whoever we happen to be. Then collectively, we have a tremendous global impact. We can reach out to people. They reach out to us. And together we do amazing things. And then finally, the giving back, the feeding the roots. And as you've seen, Jen, Doug, and Jonathan all feed the roots through their daily work with ASHRAE and in their workplaces. So thanks to the three of you for joining us this month. And to the rest of you, we look forward to seeing you again next month for the next member to member connection.